I have a message to the Nigerian government, Nigerian people in general. I've heard of that other gang you got over there too, that they rape girls and kidnap people all the time. Those fucking losers. What are they called? I can't even remember their name. That's what fucking scumbags they are. Maybe the Lamb already erased them out of the Book of Life. I know. Let's see what I know about Nigeria. Nigeria, the first thing a normal American thinks is, oh, Nigerian scammers. Everybody knows about those Nigerian scammers. It's pretty annoying. That's an annoying part of your people. Too bad the government and these extremists aren't going after Nigerian scammers. Because if you guys were clobbering Nigerian scammers, it'd be a different situation. But even more than scammers, unless it's some of the same people and there's an overlap, that gang that I was talking about, I can't remember their name. You know who I'm talking about, those assholes, those losers. They would like kidnap like girls and rape them and stuff and try to hold them for ransom, like a business, instead of getting like a real job like a real man. What a fucking losers. Anyway, those guys are the guys you should be clobbering to death, you fucking idiots. But the people clobbering people to death are probably those guys, pretty much. You know, I don't look at what people call themselves, I look at what they do. Because a lot of people call themselves a lot of things and they're not. You know, Christians, I'm a Christian. I'm a real Christian. Okay, there's a lot of fake Christians. Jesus said this would happen. Many would come in my name falsely. The synagogue of Satan was pretending to be Jews back then. Now they pretend to be Catholics and, you know, whatever, Christians and all kinds of things. You know, the fake Jews. Yeah, they call themselves Jews, yet they are fake Jews of the synagogue of Satan. You know, he also said they do everything to be seen and heard. They sit at the best seats of the synagogue. Oh, me, look how Christian we are. Yeah, I'm poor and live in a tent and have a job and live in Babylonian County that the apartments are so expensive they're trying to put everybody into wage slavery, which they've pretty much effectively put a lot of people into already in Pennsylvania. And it's like Babylonian shit going on. And anyway, at least these terrorists are finally starting to get clobbered and deported because they're Babylon. And Babylon's the problem. Nigeria. Don't know much else about you. I've seen videos of Nigerian people's weddings. I worked with a Nigerian girl before. She was the nicest Nigerian that I've ever heard of. Nila. Yet it's spelled like Nila. But with the accent, I guess they say Nila. She was nice. I met her family. I saw a video of a wedding in their family. They all held hands and danced in a circle, la, 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 peacefully. So I thought there was a good side to Nigeria. I did see another thing where these Nigerian people were going through like some like woods and bright colors, doing like a little like Christian festivity thing before. I saw it in an art gallery in New York at the big museum. But anyway, don't be fucking douchebags and scumbags. And if there are douchebags scumbags that are clobbering good Christians for no reason, and these other ones, it's not about just Christian with me, like I said, it's just basic human beings. Like when God was like, yeah, but they don't look at the spirit itself. You know, people say a lot of things, but look at the spirit of the person itself, you know. Look at the heart, you know. Look at, just without words, too, you know. What is that stupid gang called, or was it? I hope they don't exist anymore, I really do. But they should be clobbered. Those guys should be clobbered. And then, like, probably clobbered and, like, literally just shot. You should just be grabbing the Mausers and brrrr, or get some weapons from above and just come down upon them. Brrrr. Send them right to hell. That's what you should be doing. Get rid of those guys. Muslim extremists are nothing but bitch nigger Hezbollah fucking losers. You all fuck kids and rape girls and shit. You know, I know you all fuck your mothers. God said it, well, he might not have said it that way. Jesus might have. But in the Bible, it says, as a punishment, there was something, and then I will put you in the Hezbollah church. In the Hezbollah church, the mother is the wife. I know, if you look, God fucks people over backwards and forwards in time. People might look back and say, oh my God, I'm such a terrible person that maybe I deserve to be raped and fucked by my own mother. And Hezbollah, sorry, you must have been wicked in a past life to be put in that church. Oh, that sounds terrible, because some people were fucked by their parents and they think, oh, I don't deserve this. But you'd be surprised. I got a full-scale revelation about this, and I said, oh my God, everything actually does measure out perfectly. It's pretty crazy. Is that too harsh? Probably. Probably sounds like it. I get rejected a lot. But that's what is the truth. The truth often gets rejected. What people should be doing is simply clobbering the scam artists, putting them in prison, and then if they're rapists in with the stupid gang in Nigeria that kidnaps girls and rapes them and holds them for hostage, or the extremist Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthi, whatever the fuck they call themselves, they're all the same. They should just be shot. You guys in the real government, stop your stupid bribes and extortion over the years. You guys screwed yourselves over because you just took so much dirty money. You know, Africa used to be so different and distinct in every country and have so much flair. And then, like, Northern Africa over the last many decades just became, like, a hostile douchebag, extremist Muslim territory. Which is like, no, that's not their territory. We still have a government here. We're Africans. But then it's like, no, you're not. Like, well, some of you might be, but your government's oppressing you because it took bribes from these fucking Muslim extremists, and they're like working bitch niggers for Muslims. No racist. I use that word the right way. Anyway. It's worse than niggers and britches. I heard about that too. I had an African teacher in college in a class I took on the African diaspora. She told me about that one. But it's worse than that situation. You know, niggers and britches is light sauce compared to what's going on with these terrorists. So yes, you should just be shooting all the terrorists, and then all the scammers that are going in a negative, evil direction, bothering the whole world. You should clobber them and put them in prison and give them a record. You know, make an operation of that, and I bet you'll get rid of a lot of douchebags, and you'll teach a lot of them a lesson that if they're not as bad as those gangs and extremists, Hezbollah. I know that sounds bad. I said they fucked their mothers, but it's in the Bible. It really says, and the mother is the wife, and the mother is the wife. What do you think that means? You know? But what I noticed is that turns them into, like, I call it Norman Bates syndrome, where it's like they put a neurosis on the child, and then the children, they hate women, the men, they hate women, but they're afraid of their mother. And then they want to kill girls and rape girls, and they can't love a woman because I guess the person who was supposed to love them and take care of them most taught them, like, not a proper love, and it's just like this disgusting, shameful, horrible, I don't know. Like I said, maybe they deserved it backwards. That's pretty bad to say, but God also said recently, in the last couple of years, a couple of years ago, he said, I'm cutting off Hezbollah. He's actually genetically, holy genocide, cutting them off of the tree of life and removing them entirely. So they are going down. So whether I advise your half-fake, bribed-out, pimped-out, loser, unrighteous, unholy, unnationalistic, sellout loser government, just like the Joe Bidens and the losers here that all sold out to China, and then Mexico, China, or Mexico, Venezuela, Guatemala, China, you know, or whoever, the UN and all that, because our whole government got sold out to the UN umbrella. That's a piece of shit, beast system piece of shit. But God also said, I'm tearing down the beast system and ripping it apart. So that'll be great. So why do I even make these videos? I already know it's going to happen. Might as well just wait it out. Watch it get ripped apart. Watch Hezbollah get cut off the tree of life. I'm sorry, though, if there's any good Christians getting raped by them or whatever, but like I said, God, Jesus also, it does say in Ecclesiastes, there is a time to kill. There's a time for a lot of things is listed, but it does say there is a time to kill. So, you might want to get the gun. Jesus did say in another thing to me, he said there is a time to get the guns. You know, even that one time they went into a place and they said, we're going to need some swords. They said, well, we only have 2. He said, that'll be enough. But, like, he understands there is a time on the earthly level for some type of, whether you have weapons and you show the manpower and you say, look, we have some weapons and some people here, you know, maybe we can avoid a violent clash, because they'll say, oh, you know, they're armed. But I'll tell you though, really, there's a level that way supersedes even that stuff too, because God will protect one person and destroy tons of the enemy. You know, like with that one saint, he's like, while you were here, I was over there destroying them all. Right? One guy was walking out of the enemy's place, and then God came down and crushed the whole enemy's army, the entire army, with 100-pound hailstones. And I remember with David, he was murdered and eaten, and God put David in a broad space, and then descended in a horrifying form and crushed all of the murderers down into the dust and destroyed them all. And then think about Pharaoh's army. He said, I'm going to destroy those special Egyptian chariots, and those special Egyptian chariots' wheels are still in the bottom of the Red Sea where that happened. Yes, there's whole archaeology, history videos on it. People look for proof of God. I've found tons of it. And that's just one level on an earthly archaeological level. But there's more, including Jesus' own blood. DNA evidence has been found, and it actually shows that it has half the chromosomes that other people's blood has typically, which proves it was a virgin birth in the fleshy blood, and it was holy, because it doesn't show earthly, like a fleshly with genetics father's DNA. It shows only the DNA of having one parent, where everybody else has like 23 plus 23 chromosomes, would be 46. You have a mother set and a father set. But Jesus' blood found on the Shroud of Turin was rehydrated and looked at, and it has only the mother's set. If that isn't evidence for you, I don't know what is. What it is a lot of people, they'll say, oh, it must be a fake, oh, this, and that. They deny it. Some people just don't believe unless they see, like God said. But other people might know it's true, but they just hate God like Satan, and they just, I just don't want him to have power. I just don't want to admit anything. Like those evil sparking angels, they won't confess to Jesus' name. Not a good fate for these creations or whatever. It's not a good thing. Anyway, I think I might have went too far when I said the motherfucking thing that maybe they all deserve their rapes backwards in time. Well, because maybe some people got raped and innocent people didn't, okay? So let's say, and if anybody came out of Hezbollah and converted and actually ended up being, whoops, that one was like just there and then God saved them and took them away, I don't know. It's possible. I know that one Hezbollah guy's son that was pretty high up, that was one of their big leaders, he came out and converted against them early and was talking all kinds of shit on the YouTube of, he was blowing up their spot, saying exactly what they do and exactly how wicked they are, and he was against these motherfuckers, though he was this guy's son who was like their big leader, or one of the big leaders. Do I remember his name? No, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't care, because I said the Lamb is erasing their names out of the Book of Life. Why should I remember them? But that guy seems like, he actually seems like he's alright. Like, he's actually telling the truth. He's probably been through all kinds of